Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into one of the most incredible scenes in the entire book of Revelation. It's a moment where the fate of the whole universe is hanging by a thread, and the hero who shows up, well, let's just say it's the last person anyone would ever expect.
So picture this, a vision of God on his throne, and in his hand there's a scroll. This isn't just any scroll, it literally holds the destiny of all creation. It's the script for the final act of history. But there's a huge problem. It's sealed shut, and it seems like nobody in the entire cosmos is worthy to open it. So here's our roadmap for this. We're going to start with this impossible-to-open scroll. Then we'll join the desperate universe-wide search for a hero. After that, we hit a wild twist with something called the Lion and the Lamb. And we'll figure out why this unlikely hero is worthy. And finally, we'll see the cosmic party that breaks out because of it.
All right, so the Apostle John is the one seeing all this, and he sees the scroll in God's right hand. And get this, it's written on the inside and the outside. That tells you it is absolutely packed with information. There's nothing left out.
And it's not just locked, it is sealed with 7 seals. Now, in this kind of writing, the number 7 is a huge deal. It represents divine perfection, completeness. So this isn't just a simple lock. We're talking about a document sealed by God's own perfect, absolute authority.
I mean, the stakes just could not be any higher. This thing holds the key to judging evil once and for all, and to the ultimate salvation of humanity. Until someone can open it, history is basically frozen, stuck in a holding pattern. Everything depends on what happens next. So you guessed it, the search begins. With the fate of all creation on the line, a challenge rings out to find someone, anyone, powerful enough, worthy enough to break these seals. And it's a mighty angel who booms this question across all of existence. The call goes out everywhere, through the heavens, all across the earth, and even down into the underworld. You'd think, surely, somewhere there's got to be someone, right? Wrong. The search comes up completely empty. Not a single being. The silence is just deafening. And at this point, John, who's watching all this unfold, is completely crushed. He just starts weeping his heart out. All hope, it seems, is gone. But right when John is at his lowest, one of the elders in the vision steps forward and says, "Don't weep." He has a lead. But what he says, and what John actually sees, sets up one of the most powerful and mind-bending paradoxes you'll ever find. And here it is, this incredible contrast. The elder tells John, look, the Lion of the tribe of Judah has triumphed. A lion, a symbol of a conquering, powerful king. But when John turns to look, he doesn't see a lion. He sees a lamb, a small, vulnerable lamb that looks like it had just been slain. So, what gives? How can a slain lamb be a triumphant lion? How can weakness be the very thing that represents ultimate strength? Well, to get this, we've got to look at a really important contrast, the one between the first Adam and the last Adam. Okay, so the problem, according to this interpretation, starts with the first Adam. Because he was human, from the earth, his choices brought sin and death into the world. And that meant that no one else from his line, no other human being, could ever be worthy of fixing the damage. But that's where the solution comes in. The Lamb, who is Christ, is known as the last Adam. And unlike the first, he's not from the earth, he's from heaven. Where the first Adam brought death, the last Adam is a life-giving spirit who takes on death itself and wins. And that's the whole key. The Lamb's worthiness doesn't come from raw, earthly power like a lion. No, it comes from the exact opposite. It comes from his sacrificial death and his victory over it. He is worthy because he was slain, and yet he is standing. He's alive. So, this all leads to the big finale. The second the Lamb proves his worth by taking that scroll, the entire mood in heaven just flips. All that weeping and despair, it instantly explodes into pure, unrestrained joy. It's this one single action, the worthy Lamb taking the scroll, that kicks everything off. John's tears are replaced by worship, and a new song, one that's never been sung before, just erupts across the heavens. And listen, we're not talking about a small choir here. The worship starts with the beings right around the throne, but then it just explodes outward. Millions upon millions of angels join in, and then it gets even bigger until literally every single creature in heaven, on earth, and under the earth is singing the same song. And this is what they're all singing. It is this powerful, incredible declaration of praise, and it's directed equally to God on the throne and to the Lamb.
It's the first time all of creation is finally united, seeing and declaring where true power and glory really come from. So in this view, this moment is the absolute hinge point of all history. The universe-wide question of who is worthy has finally been answered. The scroll is now in the hands of the only one who can open it, and the final act of history, well, it's finally ready to begin.
And that wraps up our look at this amazing vision. It's a story where the biggest victory isn't won with brute force, but through sacrifice. It completely flips our whole idea of power on its head. And it leaves us with a pretty big question to think about. If the greatest victory in all of history was won by a slain lamb, what does that tell us about where we can find true strength today?